What is narcissistic personality disorder? This is a comprehensive guide to help you understand narcissistic personality disorder. It's printed in domesticshelters.org. According to the DSM-4, the official manual of the American Psychiatric Association that classifies and defines mental health disorders, narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is a pattern of grandiose self-importance and a lack of empathy that typically begins in early adulthood. A person with NPD may exaggerate their achievements and talents or expect to be recognized as superior without accomplishments to support this. Be preoccupied with fantasies of success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Believe that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status individuals. Require excessive admiration. Have a sense of entitlement or unreasonable expectations of overly favorable treatment, or expect automatic compliance with his or her expectations. Take advantage of others to achieve their requirements. Lack empathy or unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Is often envious of others and believes that others are envious of them, and demonstrates arrogant or better than attitudes and behaviors. Individuals with NPD don't respond to criticism or defeat well and may act out in anger or withdraw completely. While some individuals with NPD can be high achievers, the researchers have found high rates of substance abuse and mood and anxiety disorders in those with narcissistic personality disorder. How to know if an abuser is a narcissist? Besides checking off any of the boxes above, Shannon Thomas, LCSW, author of Healing from Hidden Abuse, A Journey Through the Stages of Recovery from Psychological Abuse, told domesticshelters.org that a survivor can tell they're in a relationship with a narcissistic abuser if the abuser never admits fault or takes responsibility for anything. Narcissistic abusers will also use gaslighting to make a survivor believe that their memories of events are inaccurate or blown out of proportion, tend to get very angry and walk out of counseling sessions. Advocates warn couples counseling will not stop abuse anyhow. Shame victims about anything from their accomplishments to the previous traumas they've suffered, insinuating that they deserved it somehow. Often stay cool, calm, and collected, sometimes even amused when the person they're attacking is distraught. Project their faults and wrongdoings onto a victim, such as blaming their partner for lying or cheating, when it's actually the abuser who is doing those things. Change the subject in conversations in order to evade accountability, or in example, turn the blame back onto something the victim did instead, even if it's not relevant. Have circular, nonsensical, and seemingly never-ending conversations in order to frustrate their victim to the point where they're more likely to just give up. Love bombing a victim, showering them with grand gestures of affection and attention only to begin tearing down their self-esteem later. The victim then craves the original amount of admiration back, beginning a dangerous cycle of psychological abuse. Can NPD be treated? According to Psychology Today, treatment for NPD can be tricky because those who have it feel a sense of grandiose importance and are highly defensive of criticism, which makes it difficult for them to admit that they're living with narcissistic personality disorder or to seek treatment. Talk therapy by a trained professional may help those with NPD relate to others in a healthier way, However, whether or not abuse will end by treating NPD is another story. Treating one won't automatically stop the other, but some advocates believe batterer treatment programs can end abusive behaviors in individuals who are truly committed to changing. Abuse cannot be blamed on narcissistic personality disorder. Abusive partners can have multitude of obstacles in their lives, from mental health disorders like MPD to substance abuse to post-traumatic stress disorder to unresolved childhood trauma. But the same can be said for non-abusive individuals as well. That's why it's important to remember that abusive is a choice abusers make, and it can't be blamed on an obstacle or cause in the abuser's life. An abuser diagnosed with NPD just means the abuser has two issues now, both mental illness and being an abuser. By the abuser convincing the survivor that the abuse he or she is inflicting is out of their control, the survivor may feel a sense of guilt or obligation to stay. The abuser may try to excuse abusive incidences, like something like, well, it's not my fault. I have this disorder. Remember that not everyone with a mental health disorder is abusive. Abusers may tell a survivor that they're going to get better or working on it and just need a survivor's help in overcoming their mental health issues. They may say something like, I can't do it without you, or you're the only one who can help me. Survivors may begin to feel responsible by helping to stop the abuse. On the contrary, an abuser may also blame a survivor for the abuse, saying things like, well, why couldn't you just do what I ask? I was only violent because you got mad at me first. Loretta Reeves, PhD, a senior lecturer in the Department of Psychology at the University of Texas at Austin, told DomesticShelters.org that she believes the only solution to help some survivors see abuse is not their fault or their responsibility to end is by leaving. Only with distance can you see the dynamics. If you're still in contact, the abuser will likely use that pity channel effectively. They're interested in maintaining the status quo and will say or do anything it takes to gain control of the situation again. Most abusers don't change because they don't think they have to. Why listening to your gut is so important. Only a survivor knows when it's safest to leave an abusive partner. If a survivor chooses to stay with someone who has NPD, there may be a roller coaster effect to the relationship. There may be good days and bad days, and the bad days can get far darker than those in a relationship with a healthy person. Abuse almost always escalates, and a survivor should pay attention to the warning signs. Gradual escalation looks like verbal insults becoming more degrading, an abuser's control ramping up, threats becoming more alarming. Sudden escalation looks like an abrupt change from, say, verbal insults to physical attacks. An abuser may suddenly shove a victim against a wall to make a point, or abuse a child or family pet. They may fly off the handle. They may begin throwing objects, punching a wall, or even showing the victim a gun, just in case. It's important a partner always listens to his or her gut or intuition. If something feels off or increasingly dangerous, it probably is. If you have a bad feeling about a partner, don't ignore it. Gift of Fear author and violence expert Gavin DeBecker lists 13 messengers of intuition. Things you may feel when you're around someone that signals something is worth paying attention to. They include nagging feelings, persistent thoughts, anxiety, curiosity, hunches, gut feelings, doubt, hesitation, suspicion, apprehension, and fear. When it's time to go. Leaving a narcissistic abuser will be tricky because of the mind games, the manipulation, the veiled and overt threats, and the guilt trips will only intensify. Consider these steps when leaving an abusive partner. Call an advocate and talk about a safety plan. Involve your children in the safety plan. Consider where you'll stay while you separate from an abusive partner. Secure an order of protection and take steps to safety afterward. Don't respond to an abuser's attempts to stalk you.